pointed it out in his opening remarks, everything was going really quite well. There were a lot of working groups that were meeting. There was great bipartisan cooperation. Both sides were getting ideas included in a plan. And then yesterday, the Speaker of the House showed up with an agenda. And then all of a sudden, it got taken over at the leadership level. And so now, instead of talking about helping workers, we're talking about the Green New Deal and all kinds of other things that demands that the unions and other special interest groups want to see in this deal. But the throwaway line that this is about bailouts for big corporations, really? Are we going to do that again? Are we going to do this again? You guys are going to come over here and block votes and use the line that this is a bailout for big corporations? You heard it. You heard what Senator Alexander just said. This has money in here for workers. This has money for families. This has money for small businesses. Lots of the money. $300 billion is going to go to checks. $1,200 per person, $2,400 per couple, $500 per child for everybody, up to $75,000 for a single and $150,000 for a married couple filing jointly. $250 billion in here for unemployment insurance, as the senator from Tennessee pointed out, to plus up and top off those unemployment those unemployment funds that the states have. Add $600 per person per week for the next 3 months. That's going to help unemployed people in this country. The small business loan program that was just alluded to, that Senators Rubio and Collins and Cardin and Shaheen have worked on, is a $350 billion program that allows small businesses to pay their employees, to keep them employed, so they keep their jobs, so those jobs don't go away. That right there is $900 billion going to workers. Senator Alexander pointed out there's over $242 billion in this bill that's going out to help out with health care. And we all know we've got to help our hospitals. And between the $75 billion in direct spending in this particular provision and the $25 billion or more that's going to be part of the Medicare provisions, that's $100 billion for hospitals, $20 billion for veterans' health care, $11 billion for vaccines, therapeutics, diagnostics, and other preparedness needs, $4.5 billion for Centers for Disease Control, $1.7 billion for the strategic national stockpile, $12 billion for the military, $10 billion for block grants to states, $12 billion for K-12 education, $6 billion for higher education, $5 billion for FEMA Disaster Relief Fund, $10 billion for the airports, and $20 billion for the public transportation emergency relief. All told, $242 billion, $186 billion, I might add, which goes through the states. Everybody's talking about helping out the states. $186 billion of the $242 billion in this part of the bill goes out to the states. So there's 900, there's another 250 billion. You're looking at 1.2, 1.3 trillion roughly of this bill that is going to healthcare workers, hospitals, medical providers, families, employees, and unemployed people. That's where it goes. Now, yes, there is $500 billion in here to keep industries afloat that are failing, and they are failing by the day and shedding jobs by the day. And these aren't grants, although the Democrats did want some grants in here, I might add. These are loans. These have to be paid back. And bailouts usually apply to somebody who did something dumb on their own, made a bad business decision. These companies aren't in trouble because of something they did on their own. This is no fault of their own. They're in trouble because they've been shut down. Shut down. And they all hire millions of employees in this country. So yes, we probably need to do something to help businesses in this country so they can keep working and keep their employees working. This was put together with a lot of bipartisan input. The leader appointed task forces. The Democrat leader assigned people to those task forces. I observed those meetings, the discussions that went on. They were bipartisan. I participated in some of those. They were bipartisan. And we came together, and all these things that have been put together in this plan were developed with an idea toward getting help to workers, employees, small businesses, healthcare professionals, the people who are fighting the crisis on the front line, But here we are dilly-dallying around, can't even get on the bill. As the leader pointed out, there's another 60-volt threshold that comes later. If you want to block it then, you can block it then. We can't even get on the bill. The country is burning. The country is burning, and your side wants to play political games. It's time to get this done. The American people expect us to act. They need action. We need to work together to get this done for the American people. But don't come out here and say over and over and over again, this is bailouts for big corporations. This bill is about workers, it's about people, it's about families, it's about people who are hurting out there economically. And we need to do something about it, and we're in a position to do something about it, and it's high time that we did.